Hey guys, my name is Dane. I'm with the Obtainable Freedom Project, and today is my 10-year anniversary of being out of the Marine Corps. I was a grunt with 2-1 Weapons Company, went to Iraq and Afghanistan. As long as I can remember, as a kid, that's all I ever wanted to do, was be in the infantry and fight for America's freedom. Because, well, the obvious reasons of being America's God's country, and everyone else sucks, and they're horrible to their people, and we're going to go liberate them, and you know nonsense like that our public education system teaches. And unfortunately, the churches I was around growing up, um not gonna sit here and tell you how I changed my mind on that today, but I will tell you it was all nonsense and it was all for nothing. And our wars over there are destroying our country and destroying the guys that we send over there and the girls that we send over there and the countries that we're sent to. We have left the Middle East in ruins. And for what? Because Saddam Hussein was a bad guy? Come on, get real. What have we done to Iraq? It'd be much better off with him in power. And that's not me sticking up for him. Like, I am glad he's dead, but it would have been better, right? And after 20 years, Afghanistan, the war in Afghanistan, that never had to be that way, finally ended. Our government used our fear and our anger for what happened on 9/11 to send all of us over there, and for what? We didn't even try. You can kind of make an argument that they tried to get Osama bin Laden there, but that wasn't what it was about. It was about starting a war on terror that never ends. That never ends. Immediately, we sent guys to go fight the Taliban. When I was over there, we were capturing Taliban. Al Qaeda wasn't even in our vocabulary. It was all bullshit. And now, a lot of us struggle because of that. I watched a lot of my friends struggle because of that. And it wasn't worth it. And we ended Afghanistan. Now it's time to start ending the other ones. So, it just happened to be that Thursday is my 10-year anniversary of being out, and Scott Horton, learned a lot from him about what goes on overseas. And he always talks about, he's like, man, if I was in charge of like the libertarian anarchist world, on Monday I would be like, oh, everyone attacks this on Monday, everyone attacks this on Tuesday, and everyone attacks this on Wednesday. And when he's talking about that, he always gives the example of Yemen. And that's the only thing he gives an example of. So he's way too busy of a guy. He's doing great work all over the place. We can't expect him to do everything, but we should listen to him and do what he says, because he's right. So Scott can't lead the charge on attacking Yemen one day a week, but we can. And I was talking to my brother about this. He's like, why Yemen? Is there anything unique about that situation? And yeah, there's a couple things that everyone should know. First off, from my understanding, it'd be very easy to end. Secondly, it's one of the worst things that our country is involved in. And I'll get into both of those. So, back in Barack Obama days, he made the Iran nuclear deal. The Saudis weren't very happy about. So, we had to placate the Saudis by helping them start a war in Yemen against the Houthis. And in doing so, we are supplying them and helping them bomb places in Yemen. And not just like bombing the Houthis. We're bombing water treatment facilities, we're bombing crops, bombing livestock, intentionally making it to the point where these people are starving to death. We said, we're not letting goods come into their country. And there's the largest outbreak of cholera happening over there. And all you need to do to fix that is clean water, which our government is intentionally destroying. Not only that, but then they bomb the cholera hospitals that were set up to help these people. And I don't know if anybody knows about when people are starving to death or there's diseases going through, but it largely affects kids under 5 years old. So we are deliberately murdering children to placate the Saudis. Those were Barack Obama's words. And so, how is it the easiest one to end? Well, all our government would have to do is call them and say, hey, you no longer get our support. And by this time, they probably have the resources to keep fighting, but at least we wouldn't be involved with it. So, Thursdays are from now on. I'm going to be doing this for a year, and I can't do it by myself. It's not like I'm leading the charge. I'm just trying to get everyone to join in because we need to teach people what the fuck is happening over there, and we need to end it. It needs to end. There's no reason why our country should still be in the business of murdering children overseas. That shit really makes me mad. And something that I've never heard before on the news or anywhere, and I'm not like an expert on what's happening in Yemen. I know more than most people, but I don't know everything. All right, so maybe this has been reported and I just haven't heard of it. But when I worked for a gun store in Texas, I met another infantry guy, and I was wearing this sweatshirt. So he started talking to me about 2-1, and he had just got back from deployment, and he was one of those special forces type dudes, right? And what he was telling me was he just got back from Yemen on the ground. He showed me pictures of him being on the ground in Yemen, and I believed him. And he could have been lying, but I believe him. First of all, I believe him because when guys in the military lie about stuff, they lie to make themselves sound cooler. And nobody knew we were in Yemen at that point. I did, but nobody talked about it. Barely anybody knows about it now. So like, he had no incentive to lie to me about where he was. So my point of that is, if anyone who's listening was on the ground in Yemen, I would love for you to email me, tell me what you were doing there, and give me more information about shit like that. You can reach me at dane.odin@outlook.com. And anyone can email me if you have anybody that you think that I should talk to, anybody we should contact. Another thing that I really would like to do is find an organization that's actually helping the people in Yemen and be able to fund them through this year. So please join me. We need to end this. We need to end them all, but this is a very tangible one to end. And we're murdering kids. Also, if that doesn't make you mad, what we're doing is directly benefiting Al-Qaeda. We're basically flying as their Air Force. They're gaining ground. And we should all hate Al-Qaeda, right? And we should hate our government for funding them like they also did in Syria. So it's time to end this shit. Let's get to work. Thursdays are for Yemen.